Hey guys, it's March 2016. You know what that means. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. The day is almost here. We're gonna see Batman and Superman in the same film, duking it out. I can't wait to see who wins, because I'm sure one of them will win, and the other will lose. And they won't just team up towards the end to fight a bigger villain, as suggested in the trailer. But still, it's Batman and Superman in the same movie! Oh, and also Wonder Woman. Have you picked your side yet? I know I have. I can't wait for visionary director Zack Snyder to bring us this masterpiece, because he is so good with the characters and story. Oh God. Can't wait to see Ben Hooflick appear as Butt Chin Batman. His stuff looks like a lot of fun.
You played. You will.
Henry Cavill will also be returning as Superman, the superhero young kids can look up to and also worship as a god. IMDb says this movie is 2 hours and 33 minutes long. Great! I can't wait to watch a 2 hour and 33 movie of darkness and despair mixed with CGI garbage. So good! So tune in, audiences. Will Batman get his butt handed to him? Will Superman be taken down a peg or two? Will Wonder Woman's appearance be underwhelming? Will Jesse Eisenberg chew up the scenery the entire time he's on screen? God, I hope so. Will Doomsday be clunky and underdeveloped? Just how numb will our minds and butts be by the end of this film?
If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
So good! So with the release of this new video game, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Stuff, I thought I'd take a moment to talk about my favorite superhero movie, one of my favorite movies, in fact. And I grew up with it a lot, and that's Tim Burton's Batman from 1989, starring Michael Keaton as Batman in a suit that he probably couldn't hear or barely breathe out of at the time. Now, I know you kids are probably saying, this Batman movie isn't that good, especially compared to the Christopher Nolan movies. The action isn't very well done. It doesn't really stick close to the comics that much, but at the time in 1989, there was nothing else really to compare it to. Comic book fans were just happy that they made a Batman film and that they made it serious and stuck to the comics a little bit, at least in tone. And I think that's what this movie has working for it best of all, is tone. It gets the tone of Batman, at least for me, completely right. As much as I love the Christopher Nolan movies, the tone feels almost more like a gangster film or a crime movie through most of it, and that's fine. But especially in The Dark Knight Rises, it feels less and less like a Batman story. Tim Burton's movie gave it a great gothic atmosphere. It has an amazing score by Danny Elfman. This may be one of my favorite movie scores of all time. I like how they keep Batman in the shadows. He's obviously a very mysterious figure. Tim Burton drew a lot of inspiration from stuff like Phantom of the Opera and like horror movies from the 60s and 70s for his inspiration. And he wanted to keep Batman a very mysterious character, and that's what I really like about it. Whereas in the Christopher Nolan movies, Batman sometimes talks a little too much and puts up a little bit too much of a front to where it's almost comical.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen.
Tim Burton's Batman relies heavily on theatrics. He's kept in the shadows a great distance. You'd never see him out in the daylight. Jack Nicholson is also really great in this. I mean, he's obviously like the opposite of Heath Ledger's Joker, where Heath Ledger's Joker is very menacing and scary. Jack Nicholson is very camp. He's almost doing a darker version of the Cesar Romero Joker, which I think that works great because it's kind of how the Joker is in the comics. He's really funny at times, but you still believe this character is extremely psychotic. A lot of people point out that Tim Burton would definitely make a better production designer than a director, and that is definitely one of the strengths of this movie. The production design is pretty great. Gotham City looks very much like this metropolis gothic futuristic nightmare. For some people, this movie might seem a bit dated, and there are definitely things in it that are dated. But for me, I think this movie has a lot of atmosphere, and it just set the template for what we would know as Batman and like carried on in the animated series. So for people to just dismiss it, I think right away is just kind of dumb. But definitely watch Tim Burton's Batman. It has stunts and people and sets. It's like a movie. Of course, it would have been better if, you know, it had Superman and Wonder Woman and Doomsday and had been filmed on a completely green screen set with all the characters dipped nude in green paint and then just animate everything later. That would have been way better.